Alrighty, let's keep going on the configuration side. So I'm going to touch very quickly on a few of these, but we're going to spend more time on others. So conversations is one of the quicker ones. So this is really used for if you have domains that need to be blocked. That could be either your own company's domain, it could be key client domains, right? Anybody that you don't want to receive any email from Apollo Outreach, right? Now, this is important. This is not blocking the domain on the company side or on the server side, right? This is just on the outbound from Apollo side. We can block domains, okay? Very important there. I didn't do this for about a year and a half because I was scared that I was going to shut off the entire org from reaching out to our customers, but turns out it would have just been the SDR team. So learn from my mistakes. Okay, so block domains, pretty self-explanatory from there. Now, the next piece I think is an interesting one. Okay, so personas. These are not just for kind of setting table stakes as to like who you guys want to reach out to, right? These are more in depth and are used in cross-filtering later on, okay? So this org right here doesn't really use these, so I'm going to go ahead and just delete them. We're going to start from scratch here. So let's say that I'm reaching out to, I don't know, let's say marketing leaders at SaaS companies that are between 50 and 100 employees, okay? So those leaders, right, are going to have a different quote unquote persona because of their seniority, right? An example of two separate personas would be a VP of marketing and then a marketing coordinator, right? Why are they different personas? Because they have different seniorities and different outreach techniques or tactics are going to work differently on those two types of people. Why? They have different pains, right? The marketing coordinator is probably more worried about speed and being able to publish content, right? Where the VP of marketing is probably more concerned like full cycle, how does whatever you're selling help me in the longer term, right? So different priorities equals different personas. I think that's a pretty good rule of thumb. So let me just go in here and say marketing, right? And I'm going to purposely make this a little bit, well, that's not a word. Hold please. Let's say marketing manager, okay? So this will take the place of that coordinator. Now, if I wanted to just say marketing here, right? This is kind of what I wanted to get at with you guys. So marketing, right? So if I do marketing, right, I'm going to see all of these records. Now, if I go to management level, right, I can say, hey, show me only the C-level and the VPs, and then show me, 50 to 100 employees, like I mentioned before, and then show me just software, right? So this can very easily be our this can very easily be one of our personas, okay? Now, the next persona is going to be made very, very similarly, right? And we're going to just say the same thing, marketing. And then instead of the seniority being either C-level or VP, let's just say manager or senior, okay? Now, we want the rest of this to remain the same. And we're going to talk about this later on. You guys are going to hear me say it 1,000 times. When you're making differentiations between two different record types, I would really like for you guys to only change one variable, meaning in this scenario, the seniority, right? So we took all of the same stuff here and then we went same employee count, except we went at a higher level on the seniority for the first, which is the VP. And this is going to be, let's call it non-senior marketing, right? Okay, now, later on here, we're going to get into sequencing and advanced sequencing. So what I want you guys to keep in mind here is these personas are used in two places for us, okay? The first place is going to be when we're prospecting, right? So if we're prospecting and we want to just see our VPs of marketing, and then we want to add in some cross-filtering, right? We have the ability to do so with, the added little benefit of saving time. That's not the real kind of reason we do this though, right? Because anybody can go in and type in marketing in the job title and seniority, blah, 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 right? The reason we really want to do this is because of our if then else sequencing statements, right? Which this gives us the ability to do. and we're going to get into this later on, but let me just give you an example, okay? So if I'm reaching out to a VP of marketing, my message might sound a little more like budget focused, right? So it'd be, hey, Mr. or Mrs. VP of marketing, I work with X. We help with X, Y, and Z. Couldn't help but notice that the space is going through a rougher patch here towards the beginning of the year with the economy. I was curious if it would be helpful for us to hop on a call and talk about X, Y, and Z, right? Where your message to a non-senior person is going to look something like, hey, so-and-so, are you wasting a lot of time doing X, Y, and Z? Our tool helps with this, right? So obviously a different messaging focus there, but if we're smart, we can actually do this in the same exact sequence. So I'm going to tease that a little bit. We're going to get into if then else statements later. But the point here is these personas can be used in that sequencing logic, right? So super important. Please do not ignore this one, and it'll make your life a lot easier down the road. Thank you.